The individual that we're going to bring in right now is someone who has some tough stories to tell. Now, she does. She has some stories where the end is good, and she has some stories where the end isn't so good. But the fact of the matter is, at the Sanford Children's Hospital, there are people that are saving lives, and there are lives that they can't save. Either way, there's a story. And there's a need. And the need is for many of us to help out. Now, I'm going to say this before I bring Hillery Mork in. It's ours. It's ours. There are planes. There are helicopters. There are ways for people to use it. In fact, when I was talking about it on my radio show today, I had individuals from Williston talking about this big time. I had an individual that texted me from Bowman. That was listening and donated a couple bucks to this. So the Children's Miracle Network is involved in this. Sanford Health Foundation is who Hillery Mork works for. Let's bring her in. Hillery, good to have you coming down the road with us.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
We're trying to raise money. That's what we're trying to do. Tell people about what this is all about.
Yes, well, this is our 22nd annual Cares for Kids Radioathon, and it's our largest fundraiser for Sanford Children's Hospital in Fargo. And, you know, it's a 2-day broadcast that we are sharing really what happens behind the walls of Sanford Children's Hospital.
Okay, so the stories, and you're not going to be able to share them all here, but you brought a lot of people to the table today. And just if you can, try to share with them a little bit of the story of one gorgeous young girl, what she was going through, how these people stepped in as foster parents and now are her parents, and their relationship with the Sanford Children's Hospital.
Yeah, I met these individuals around Christmas time because there was a little girl who had spent, it was been a few years ago, but spent shortly before Christmas, about 2.5 months beforehand. And she was in foster care, and she had a very tough diagnosis, but also needed a lot of medical care, and ended up going into a foster home with this family, and they ended up adopting her. And this little girl, she really didn't have a good outcome when she first arrived at Sanford Children's Hospital. In fact, they gave her maybe 12 hours to survive, and she beat all the odds, and she thrived, and she has a loving family, and they are taking such good care of her, but also, embracing how she wants to give back. And at Christmas time, she donated a car full of toys back to the Children's Hospital. And I think it's just stories like this, is these kids are so resilient. And, they, like her dad said, don't ever give up. And that's what this little girl, she didn't do. She didn't give up, and she fought through it. And, now she's doing very well. So that's just one of the many stories from, a real tough start to hope and healing. And that's really what Cares for Kids is all about.
I had a chance to visit with her father today, and it got to me. I'm not going to lie to you. You knew it was going to. You're so good at your job, and you're trying to bring out the emotions in people that tell the story of how important, Sanford Children's Hospital is. That being said, this young girl you're talking about had every one but 5 of her teeth pulled because of infection. Imagine being a young girl and getting your start in life, and that's how you begin. And one other thing I want to tell in the story, her father, who I visited with, she wouldn't talk to him as her foster parent when he was up there, after having been approached to be that kind of loving family to bring her in to their family, and she wouldn't talk to him. And then your group suggested that they get together and paint a car. And so they're sitting there, and he asked her, ladies and gentlemen, if he painted his tongue, would she talk to him? And she nodded her head yes. And he painted his tongue, and his tongue became purple. And that's the type of love that she was getting. And the advice that your staff gave could not have been more perfect. I mean, Hillery, those are the stories you get to tell every day.
Yeah, that's a great example of the power of play. right? A lot of times kids will express themselves through play, and that's what a lot of our child life specialists help to do, and teach these kids through play what they're going to go through at the hospital and make their stay as best as we possibly can, and also gain their trust. We don't like to, surprise kids when we're going into a procedure or a test of any sorts. We tell them what's going to happen, and we show them all of the tools that we need to use, and that helps to build that trust, and also it helps that they're able to cope through that procedure in a much better way as well.
So let's go to what people are doing, because it's a radiothon, right? But that doesn't mean it can't be a little bit of a TV-thon too. The people that watch Beck News, this is theirs. The individuals, like I said, we spoke with today, came from Hillsborough, came from Grand Forks, came from Hankinson, came from Williston, came from Bowman. This is ours in so many ways. It's a place you don't want to have to use, but if you need to use, it's there. And so, to be able to raise the money you need, tell people where the money goes if they donate.
Yeah, well, 100% helps the kids. So it's these special programs and these services that we're able to provide for the kids, where we have lots of kids that are in the hospital for a long period of time. So we have a hospital teacher, and she helps kids to stay on track in school. We have child life specialists, a team of 7 child life specialists that help to, help kids cope through procedures, to help advocate for kids so that, they understand what is happening. We have a music therapist that uses the power of music to help in the healing process. But it also includes a lot of our medical equipment that is, the next best thing for these kids, whether that's a special ventilator. We just recently outfitted a new system for our Sanford AirMed, and it's a brand new piece of equipment that goes to transport our babies. All of those things, we want the best of the best for these kids, and that's really where events like the Cares for Kids Radioathon comes in and helps fill the gap.
All right, we got them. The people that watch Beck are the kind of people that believe in projects like this. So let's hit them up. Tell people what phone numbers they can go to, and tell them how they can open their wallet as they view this right now and help out.
Sure, we have 2 numbers, 877-478-5437, or local for Fargo, 701-478-5437. It only takes about 90 seconds of your day. Super easy to call, and our volunteers are ready to go.
Now, when I'm working with you, the one thing that you make crystal clear to me is to say the numbers slow and say them over again many times. Let's do it again.
You bet. 877-478-5437, or locally 701-478-5437.
Well, what you're doing is amazing, and I'm glad that we were able to get you here on Beck. Let's have a successful one, and let's high five when it's all over, Hillary.